Today we will be discussing the dangers and benefits of overpopulation. The world's population is increasing every day, and overpopulated areas continue to increase with it. Overall, overpopulation has many risks and benefits too. The risks definitely outweigh the positives. As the human population continues to explode, finite natural resources such as fossil fuels, fresh water, arable land, coral reefs, and frontier forests continue to plummet, which is placing competitive stress on the basic life-sustaining resources, leading to a diminished quality of life. Not only is overpopulation affecting nature, it is also affecting humans greatly. For instance, food is becoming scarce in some areas, leaving 25,000 people dying daily of malnutrition. Also, about 1 million people lack access to water for consumption, agriculture, and sanitation. According to the Global Outlook for Water Resources to the year 2025, it is estimated that by 2025, more than half of the world population will be facing water-based vulnerability, and human demand for water will account for 70% of all fresh water. To further this information and demonstrate these effects, we are heading to Hannah in Orlando to discuss more on the ecological risks and benefits.
Thank you, Jocelyn. I'm currently here in Florida at Disney World. Overpopulation is a problem here in Florida. There are many ecological risks. NBPG.org states that Florida, once a sunny paradise that lured new residents with its friendly tax policies and high quality of life, is now paying the price for its population growth. Its open space is vanishing, its highways are clogged with pollution, traffic jams, and every day 860 acres of forest and farmland are lost to development. Florida, the seventh fastest populating or growing state in the country, has reached the downside to growth. A survey performed in 1999, voters found that 80% considered the state's growing population a problem, and 40% said that Florida has become less comfortable place to live over the past 5 years. Florida's population growth and its accompanying urbanization, flood control, and draining of swamps for development are killing the Everglades. Washington Post states half the original Everglades have been swallowed by development. Much of the rest, an area the size of Delaware, is dying of thirst. Overpopulation is not just affecting the wetlands in Florida. Losing 450 acres of forest and 410 acres of farmland to development every day. In 1969, Florida had 4 million acres of farmland. By 1992, it had lost almost half. According to howmany.org, in the 50s and 60s, Florida was a byword for abundance of sea. Now even some of the trash fish of the era are too rare to fish commercially or recreationally. Of course, overpopulation can be beneficial in some ways. Examples are more people creating more services and companies that can benefit the ecosystem. Mass extinction is less likely to occur, and people use the limited land in a better way.
Yeah, bring me the latte. Thanks, Hannah. To recap, huge ecological risks of overpopulation are pollution, deforestation, flooding, and uncomfortable living environments. And the benefits are more services to help the ecosystem and a less likelihood for mass extinction. Now we are going to show the social and economic benefits and risks. We have researchers stationed on the East and West Coast, starting over in the East to Sophie in New York, talking about social and economic benefits.
Thanks, Jocelyn. As you can see, I stand here in Times Square, New York, one of America's most population-dense states. Overpopulation, as we saw, has a large footprint on our world ecologically, but how does it affect us socially and economically? According to an article by Tochi Benedict on Self-Help Archive, some benefits of overpopulation on society and economy include better defense. A large population makes it possible to mobilize enough people to defend the country in times of war or other crises. Increased labor market. Naturally increasing population ensures increase in the labor force. This leads to a larger market. Investors would like to invest in a country with a large population, putting them at an advantage. This all also leads to increased human resources, which are cheaper and more readily available as a result. Lastly, with all of these factors, they give us better innovation technologies. Along with all these benefits on our society and economy, there are also many risks. across the country to Emily in California, explaining the risks of overpopulation on our society and economy.
Thanks, Sophie. I stand here in California, across the country from New York, but still one of the most populated states here in the U.S. The population growing and the city of Los Angeles becoming overcrowded comes many social and economic risks that affect the people living here. Though Los Angeles may come across as a city filled with individuals living a glamorous lifestyle, this may be far from the truth. The Economic and Demographic Research Units at the California Department of Finance, an average California home costs $400,000, about 2.5 times the average national home price, which is $180,000. Because California is such a desirable place to live, demand for housing has increased over the years. Not enough housing to accommodate the large population. Overpopulation can also lead to a shortage of water. As you may know, California is going through a drought. According to the UCSD Center for Environmental Economics, 75% of the rainfall is north of Sacramento, while 75% of the state's water demand lives south of Sacramento. The demand for water south of Sacramento beats out the supply. Some other social and economic risks due to overpopulation can be food shortages and reduction in funds for education. That's all from the Golden State. Back to you, Jocelyn.
Thank you for tuning in on tonight's broadcast. Also, thank you to all of our research stationed throughout the country. Also, special thanks to Goldie for giving us the key into this room.
Woo!
Now on to ecological risks.
Oh my god! Oh no!
Here is an example of overpopulation in Mountain High School.
I'm currently experiencing overpopulation because this bus isn't moving. Are we in a parking lot or something?
To lead to a shorter. I have lost myself.
I'm so stressed out.
You have to put these things on. I think that is a goal like before.
That was not a good idea.